In today's fast-paced world, the pursuit of success often requires immense dedication and self-discipline. Whether in our careers, personal development, or other goals, we are encouraged to focus, hustle, and strive for more. However, there's one aspect of life that often gets overlooked in the quest for achievement: our relationships. For many men, the balancing act between ambitious goals and maintaining a fulfilling love life can feel like an impossible challenge. This is where Stoicism comes in, offering timeless wisdom on how to approach both our personal desires and our relationships with a clear and disciplined mind. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that true strength lies not in our external circumstances, but in our internal ability to control our reactions and emotions. A Stoic man understands that discipline over desire is the key to achieving lasting success without sacrificing what matters most. In the context of relationships, this discipline doesn't mean neglecting love or romantic pursuits in favor of personal goals. Rather, it's about prioritizing one's values and goals while nurturing meaningful connections. A Stoic man knows that success in life isn't just about professional achievements, but also about building deep, authentic relationships. Through self-awareness and emotional control, Stoicism helps men stay grounded, avoid distractions, and focus on what truly matters. By applying Stoic principles, a man can learn to navigate the complexities of love without losing sight of his personal goals. In this way, Stoicism is not only a philosophy for success, it's a philosophy for living a balanced, fulfilling life where both career aspirations and relationships can thrive. This article will explore how the Stoic man can cultivate the discipline needed to prioritize his goals while also honoring and nurturing love, ensuring that neither is neglected in the pursuit of a meaningful life. Number 1. Mastering Stoic principles to attract and keep her love. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of emotional resilience, wisdom, and self-discipline, can play a crucial role in romantic relationships. By mastering Stoic principles, a man can become more attractive, grounded, and emotionally intelligent, qualities that naturally draw a woman in and help maintain lasting love. Teachings of Stoicism is emotional control, which allows men to avoid outbursts, jealousy, and insecurity. Women are often drawn to men who can stay calm in stressful situations, making emotional control an essential part of building a stable, harmonious relationship. Furthermore, living according to virtue, embracing wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, helps men develop reliability, dependability, and trustworthiness. These are qualities that women value in a partner, as they signify emotional maturity and a solid foundation for a lasting relationship. Another Stoic principle is focusing on what you can control, and this is incredibly valuable in love. Relationships come with their share of unpredictability, and many things are outside a person's control, such as how a partner feels or reacts. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, reactions, and attitude, there's less anxiety and stress about the relationship's outcome. This leads to greater peace and more thoughtful, grounded decision-making. Stoics also emphasize patience and delayed gratification, which are important in relationships. Instead of rushing or forcing love, a Stoic man understands that true emotional connections take time to develop. This patience shows respect for his partner's space and creates a deeper, more lasting bond. Gratitude and acceptance are also central Stoic practices that can enhance a relationship. When you approach love with gratitude, focusing on the positives rather than dwelling on shortcomings, it deepens emotional connection and creates a more harmonious relationship. Acceptance of imperfections is another critical Stoic value. A Stoic man understands that everyone has flaws, including himself, and is not afraid to be vulnerable, creating a space for his partner to do the same. This vulnerability fosters trust and a deeper emotional connection. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches resilience, the ability to handle adversity with grace. Life and relationships inevitably face challenges, and women are often attracted to men who remain steady and resilient in difficult times. Showing strength through adversity ensures that the relationship will stand strong through trials. Lastly, Stoicism emphasizes living with purpose, focusing on personal growth and achieving inner peace. A man with a clear sense of direction is naturally more attractive because he brings ambition and energy into the relationship, motivating both partners to strive for personal development. Moreover, a Stoic man's sense of inner peace means he is emotionally self-sufficient, able to give and receive love freely without relying on his partner for validation. This emotional independence fosters a healthy, balanced relationship built on mutual respect and growth. By adopting these Stoic principles, a man not only attracts the right kind of love, but also builds a relationship that is rooted in strength, trust, and long-lasting connection. Number 2, the power of silence. Why being Stoic can make you more attractive to women. In a world full of constant noise, chatter, and distractions, silence often goes unnoticed as a powerful tool for attraction. Being able to remain silent and composed in various situations is a key trait of Stoicism, and it is one that can significantly enhance a man's appeal. Silence doesn't mean being distant or aloof. Rather, it's about being present and emotionally grounded in the moment. A Stoic man who understands the value of silence doesn't feel the need to fill every space with words. Instead, he speaks when necessary and allows silence to carry its own weight. This ability to remain quiet in stressful or emotionally charged situations demonstrates emotional intelligence and control. Women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit emotional stability and who do not react impulsively or with anxiety. When a man is able to listen intently and give space for reflection, it shows he is thoughtful, focused, and respectful of others' feelings. Furthermore, silence allows for better communication, often more profound than words alone. A man who can remain silent during important moments, whether in a conversation, a conflict, or a quiet shared experience, demonstrates an inner peace that is incredibly attractive. Silence, when paired with awareness, can create a deeper connection because it allows both partners to understand each other on a non-verbal level. It communicates attentiveness and respect without the need for verbal affirmation. For women, a man who can comfortably embrace silence is seen as self-assured and confident in his own presence. This trait can make a woman feel more secure, as she knows the man doesn't need to constantly seek validation or attention through words. He's confident enough to simply be, which creates a sense of calm and steadiness in the relationship. Additionally, Stoicism teaches men to focus on their inner emotions and not to be overly influenced by external circumstances. This means that when a man is silent, he is not avoiding confrontation or running from his feelings, but rather choosing to reflect and process them internally. This self-awareness and emotional regulation show maturity, another key element in attraction. It contrasts with the common tendency to react impulsively or to overshare in moments of discomfort. A man who can maintain his composure and give measured responses is viewed as strong and emotionally stable, qualities that women often find very appealing. Silence also allows a man to give others the space they need, which fosters a deeper level of respect and understanding in relationships. Instead of dominating conversations or seeking to always be heard, a Stoic man understands that silence is sometimes the most powerful form of communication. In romantic contexts, the ability to remain silent in moments of tension or vulnerability can also demonstrate deep emotional maturity. When a man does not feel the need to fill the silence with reassurances or explanations, it signals that he trusts in the strength of the relationship and that he is comfortable in his own skin. This type of silence isn't about withdrawing emotionally or becoming detached. Rather, it's about showing that he values quality over quantity in communication. It signals that he doesn't feel the need to manipulate the moment or control the outcome. In fact, it shows that he is confident enough to let things unfold naturally, trusting that true connection doesn't always need to be forced. This calm confidence in silence, rooted in Stoic principles, naturally attracts women who are looking for a stable, emotionally intelligent, and self-assured partner. By embracing the power of silence, a Stoic man can not only enhance his own emotional well-being, but also create a deeper and more meaningful connection with others, especially in romantic relationships. Number 3. Stoic confidence. How to develop unshakable self-belief and win her heart. Confidence is a key trait that attracts attention and builds respect. But true confidence, one that is unwavering and grounded, is not the kind that comes from external validation or achievements. Instead, it's the kind of confidence that is cultivated from within, rooted in the principles of Stoicism. A Stoic man understands that his self-worth is not defined by the opinions of others or by fleeting circumstances. It is based on his inner virtues and his ability to control his emotions and actions. This type of confidence is quiet, unshakable, and independent of external praise or criticism. When a man develops this inner confidence, it exudes a sense of calm assurance that naturally draws others in, particularly women who are often looking for emotional stability and self-assurance in a partner. Stoic confidence stems from understanding what is in your control and accepting what is not. The Stoic man focuses on cultivating his virtues, such as wisdom, courage, and moderation, which allows him to feel secure in who he is, regardless of external situations. This self-belief doesn't rely on appearances, accomplishments, or the approval of others. Instead, it's grounded in the knowledge that he is enough, just as he is. For women, this is incredibly attractive because they can sense when a man is comfortable in his own skin and doesn't need constant validation to feel worthy. The Stoic man does not feel the need to prove himself constantly. He simply acts with integrity and consistency, knowing that his value is intrinsic. This confidence is also deeply rooted in emotional control. When a man can manage his emotions, such as fear, anger, and insecurity, he can handle challenging situations with grace and composure. This emotional resilience demonstrates strength and maturity, qualities that women often find appealing. Stoic confidence means not reacting impulsively to rejection or frustration, but instead approaching challenges with calm deliberation. Whether dealing with a disagreement or navigating the complexities of romantic feelings, a Stoic man knows how to respond thoughtfully, never letting his emotions control him. This self-discipline builds trust and respect in relationships because it shows that he can remain stable in times of uncertainty, a quality that makes him a reliable and steady partner. Moreover, a Stoic man understands the value of humility. True confidence isn't about arrogance or superiority. It's about recognizing that we are all works in progress. This humility allows him to acknowledge his weaknesses and continuously strive for self-improvement without feeling insecure or threatened. Instead of trying to be perfect or to impress others, he seeks personal growth, which makes him both admirable and approachable. His confidence is a reflection of his commitment to living according to his values, not his desire to gain approval from others. This authenticity is magnetic, as women are drawn to men who are genuine and comfortable with who they are, flaws and all. Ultimately, Stoic confidence is about embracing both strengths and vulnerabilities with equal grace. A man who develops this unshakable self-belief doesn't feel the need to hide behind a facade or chase after external achievements to feel validated. He knows that his worth comes from within and from how he lives in alignment with his values. This kind of confidence radiates outward, creating a sense of security and trust in those around him. For women, this translates into a deep sense of attraction, not because the man is perfect or without flaws, but because he is emotionally grounded, self-sufficient, and unafraid to be vulnerable. Number 4. Emotional control and vulnerability. How Stoicism helps men show up authentically in relationships. Emotional control and vulnerability are often seen as opposing forces, especially when it comes to men's emotional lives. In a society that values stoic detachment and emotional restraint, vulnerability can sometimes be misunderstood as weakness. However, Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-mastery and emotional resilience, teaches that true strength lies in the ability to manage one's emotions while also being open and authentic with others. For a Stoic man, emotional control isn't about suppressing emotions, but understanding them, learning how to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and allowing vulnerability to coexist with strength. This balance enables him to show up authentically in relationships, offering both emotional depth and stability. A key aspect of Stoicism is recognizing that emotions are not inherently good or bad. It's our response to them that shapes our character. By practicing emotional control, a Stoic man learns to identify and process his feelings in a constructive way, which prevents him from being overwhelmed by fear, anger, or insecurity. Instead of letting emotions dictate his behavior, he responds with clarity and purpose. In relationships, this means being present without letting emotional turmoil cloud judgment or interactions. For example, in moments of tension or disagreement, a Stoic man remains calm, composed, and open, focusing on finding a solution instead of being swept away by the emotional intensity of the situation. This emotional regulation fosters trust and security, as it shows his partner that he can handle difficult conversations with maturity and composure. At the same time, Stoicism does not promote emotional repression. Vulnerability, far from being a weakness, is embraced as a strength in Stoic philosophy. A Stoic man understands that acknowledging his emotions, particularly those of fear, sadness, or uncertainty, does not make him any less strong. Instead, it takes courage to be open about his vulnerabilities, as this honesty fosters deeper emotional intimacy. Vulnerability allows for a genuine connection, as it opens the door to true emotional sharing without the need for bravado or false pretenses. For a man who practices Stoicism, being vulnerable is not about seeking validation or pity, but about sharing his true self in a way that strengthens the relationship. When a man is vulnerable in this way, it demonstrates self-awareness, emotional maturity, and the willingness to connect on a deeper level, which is deeply attractive. Moreover, the Stoic principle of accepting what cannot be controlled plays a significant role in emotional control and vulnerability. In relationships, there are many things outside one's control: how the other person feels, how they respond, or the outcome of difficult conversations. By focusing on controlling his own thoughts, emotions, and reactions, a Stoic man can approach relationships with a calm sense of acceptance. He understands that not every moment will be perfect, and that there will be challenges along the way. However, he also recognizes that it's how he handles these challenges with emotional poise and vulnerability that truly matters. Instead of fearing rejection or disappointment, a Stoic man accepts these outcomes as part of life and remains open, knowing that emotional authenticity is more valuable than the facade of perfection. By combining emotional control with vulnerability, a Stoic man becomes a grounded, authentic partner who offers stability and depth. His ability to regulate emotions allows him to respond thoughtfully to his partner's needs, while his openness to vulnerability creates a space for emotional honesty and mutual understanding. This balance creates a powerful dynamic in relationships where both partners can feel safe, respected, and emotionally connected. The Stoic approach teaches that emotional control doesn't mean shutting down feelings, and vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. Instead, it's about integrating both aspects in a healthy, authentic way that strengthens the relationship and fosters genuine emotional intimacy. When a man shows up in this way, emotionally grounded and authentically vulnerable, he creates a foundation of trust, respect, and love that deepens the connection and allows the relationship to flourish. Number 5. The Stoic man's approach to dealing with rejection and maintaining dignity. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, especially in the context of relationships. But how a man handles rejection speaks volumes about his character. The Stoic approach to rejection is rooted in the understanding that our emotions and reactions are within our control, while external outcomes, accepts or rejects us, are not. For a Stoic man, rejection is not a reflection of his worth or value as a person. Instead of reacting with anger, bitterness, or a bruised ego, he chooses to respond with dignity, calmness, and self-respect. This mindset is one of the core strengths of Stoicism, the ability to detach one's sense of self-worth from the opinions and actions of others. When faced with rejection, a Stoic man acknowledges not let them dictate his behavior or sense of self. He understands that his dignity does not depend on someone else's approval and that external circumstances, while sometimes painful, cannot define his inner peace. The first step for a Stoic man in dealing with rejection is accepting that it is a natural part of life. Every human being faces rejection at some point, and it is an unavoidable aspect of pursuing relationships, personal goals, or even career ambitions. By embracing the reality that rejection is not something to fear or avoid, a Stoic man can face it with resilience. Instead of taking it personally or viewing it as a failure, he sees it as an opportunity for growth and self-reflection. He doesn't internalize the rejection, but instead focuses on how he can learn from the experience. This approach allows him to maintain emotional control and avoid falling into self-pity or excessive rumination. Moreover, the Stoic man does not allow rejection to shake his belief in himself or his value. He understands that his worth is not determined by external validation, and so he does not tie his sense of self to the approval or disapproval of others. If rejected by someone in a romantic context, for instance, he doesn't dwell on what he could have done differently or criticize himself. Instead, he accepts that the other person's feelings are beyond his control and that their response says more about them than about him. This self-assurance enables him to maintain his dignity, even in the face of disappointment. By focusing on what he can control, his reactions, his attitude, and his emotional resilience, he remains grounded and poised. A key Stoic principle that helps in handling rejection is the focus on virtue over external success. A Stoic man seeks to live a virtuous life, guided by wisdom, courage, and justice. Rejection may sting, but it does not change his commitment to his values. By keeping his focus on living according to these virtues, he can rise above the transient emotions that rejection brings. This perspective allows him to maintain a sense of purpose and direction, regardless of setbacks. In relationships, this attitude is particularly powerful, as it signals emotional maturity and inner strength. A Stoic man does not chase after validation or external approval. Instead, he remains true to himself and his values, maintaining his dignity regardless of the outcome. Additionally, the Stoic man practices gratitude in the face of rejection. Rather than dwelling on what he has lost or what hasn't worked out, he focuses on what he can learn from the situation and how it contributes to his growth. Each experience, including rejection, can serve as a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and self-improvement. He remains thankful for the opportunity to practice resilience and emotional mastery, seeing rejection not as a setback, but as a chance to refine his character. This gratitude shifts his perspective from loss to growth and allows him to maintain a positive and forward-thinking attitude. In romantic relationships, rejection can be especially challenging, but the Stoic approach offers a powerful framework for handling such situations with grace and dignity. A Stoic man does not fall into despair or seek revenge or validation. Instead, he accepts the rejection with maturity, learns from the experience, and continues on his path with confidence. His dignity remains intact because he knows temporary setback, not a reflection of his worth. By embodying Stoic principles, a man can handle rejection with poise and strength, remaining true to himself and demonstrating the emotional resilience that makes him not only more attractive, but also a more grounded and authentic person. Number 6. Cultivating patience, the Stoic way to building long-lasting relationships. In a world that often emphasizes instant gratification and quick fixes, cultivating patience can be one of the most powerful virtues in building long-lasting relationships. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that emphasizes emotional control, virtue, and wisdom, offers a profound approach to patience. A Stoic man understands that great things take time, and this includes the development of deep, meaningful relationships. Patience is not just about waiting passively, it's about cultivating the inner strength to endure challenges, stay committed, and navigate the ups and downs of life without losing one's sense of purpose. In relationships, this translates into the ability to be present without rushing the process, to accept imperfections without expecting perfection, and to invest in the growth of the relationship over time. For a Stoic man, patience is tied to the acceptance of what is beyond his control. Relationships are dynamic, with each partner bringing their own set of experiences, emotions, and expectations to the table. Rather than becoming frustrated by the natural pace of a relationship or by moments of conflict, a Stoic man understands that he cannot control his partner's feelings or reactions. What he can control is how he responds, choosing to approach challenges with calm, reflective patience rather than frustration or haste. This allows him to deal with difficult moments in a relationship, whether they involve disagreements, misunderstandings, or periods of uncertainty, with grace and composure. Instead of rushing to fix everything immediately, he embraces the process, knowing that growth and healing take time. Patience also enables a Stoic man to practice empathy and understanding. Rather than expecting his partner to meet his needs instantly, he takes the time to truly listen, learn, and understand her perspective. He recognizes that, just like himself, she has her own pace of growth, her own challenges, and her own emotional landscape. Stoicism teaches the value of self-awareness and self-control, which allows a man to be patient with his partner's shortcomings without judgment. He knows that no one is perfect, and that relationships are not about fixing each other, but growing together. This approach fosters an environment of mutual respect and acceptance, where both partners feel safe to express themselves, knowing that their flaws are not a source of judgment, but of shared human experience. Moreover, Stoicism teaches the importance of resilience in the face of adversity, and relationships inevitably face challenges. Patience in these moments is crucial. Instead of viewing setbacks or difficulties as obstacles, A Stoic man sees them as opportunities for growth and strengthening the relationship. Whether dealing with financial stress, family issues, or simply the trials of everyday life, a Stoic man remains steady and composed, confident that both he and his partner will navigate through the challenges together. This resilience nurtures a sense of security in the relationship, allowing both partners to trust that no matter what life brings, they can endure it with patience and mutual support. In romantic relationships, patience also manifests in the understanding that love is not a fleeting emotion, but a commitment that requires ongoing effort and care. The Stoic perspective emphasizes long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasures. A Stoic man doesn't rush to claim a partner's love or force the relationship to evolve according to his timeline. Instead, he patiently allows the relationship to develop naturally, giving both partners the space to grow individually while also nurturing their connection together. This mindset fosters a deeper bond built on trust, mutual understanding, and a shared commitment to one another's well-being. Ultimately, cultivating patience through Stoicism transforms how a man approaches relationships. He understands that the most meaningful connections are not built overnight, but over time, through consistent effort, emotional maturity, and mutual respect. Patience in love is not about waiting for the perfect partner or the perfect moment. It's about being present, accepting imperfections, and growing together through life's challenges. By embracing Stoic principles, a man can approach relationships with a steady heart, a calm mind, and an enduring commitment to building something lasting and meaningful. This not only makes him a more attractive partner, but also ensures that the relationship stands the test of time, growing stronger and more resilient with each passing day. Number 7. How Stoicism helps you avoid jealousy and develop trust in relationships. Jealousy is a natural human emotion, often fueled by insecurity, fear of loss, or comparison. In relationships, jealousy can create tension, undermine trust, and damage the emotional foundation between partners. However, Stoicism provides powerful tools for managing and overcoming jealousy, allowing individuals to develop deeper trust and emotional resilience in their relationships. At its core, Stoicism teaches that our emotions are the result of our judgments and beliefs about external events, not the events themselves. A Stoic man understands that jealousy arises when he places his sense of self-worth in the hands of things he cannot control, such as his partner's actions, attention, or affections. By practicing emotional awareness and self-discipline, he learns to detach his identity from external validation and to focus on what is within his control, his own thoughts, actions, and responses. One of the key Stoic principles that helps manage jealousy is the understanding that the only thing we truly control is our own behavior and mindset. In relationships, a Stoic man recognizes that his partner's feelings or actions are not within his control. Whether his partner interacts with someone else or faces temptation, a Stoic man does not view these situations through the lens of insecurity or fear. Instead, he focuses on cultivating his own emotional steadiness and trust in the relationship. Rather than reacting impulsively or allowing jealousy to cloud his judgment, he approaches the situation with calm reflection. He understands that his partner's actions reflect their own thoughts, feelings, and choices, which are beyond his control, and that true trust in a relationship comes from acceptance of this reality. By internalizing this perspective, a Stoic man prevents jealousy from taking root and instead maintains his emotional equilibrium, regardless of external circumstances. Moreover, Stoicism teaches the importance of perspective and reframing. A Stoic man doesn't see his partner's interactions with others as a threat to his own worth or to the relationship. Instead, he reframes these situations as opportunities for growth, self-reflection, and trust-building. He asks himself whether his jealousy is a result of his own insecurities or whether it's based on an objective reality. By recognizing that jealousy often stems from irrational fears and assumptions, he can begin to reframe these emotions as unhelpful and counterproductive. Instead of focusing on what might be happening outside of his control, he shifts his attention to what he can control: his thoughts, his actions, and his ability to communicate openly with his partner. Through this process, he develops a healthier, more rational perspective that fosters trust rather than suspicion. Stoicism also encourages a focus on virtue over external outcomes. A Stoic man does not see a relationship as something to possess or control, but as a shared bond built on mutual respect, trust, and virtue. He understands that love is not about ownership, but about freedom and understanding. When he practices Stoicism, he is less likely to feel threatened by outside influences, knowing that trust and respect are the foundation of any healthy relationship. He recognizes that jealousy arises when we fear losing something we feel we own, but true love, from a Stoic perspective, is about giving freedom and autonomy to both partners. This sense of trust in the relationship allows him to let go of possessiveness and the desire to control his partner's every action, replacing jealousy with a deeper sense of security and confidence in their bond. Additionally, Stoicism teaches the value of acceptance and letting go of attachments. A Stoic man understands that nothing in life is permanent, and that attachment to outcomes, whether that be a relationship or a specific way of thinking about the relationship, only leads to suffering. He accepts that relationships may face challenges, and while he can work toward maintaining them, he does not hold on to them with an iron grip. Instead, he allows space for his partner to grow, and he is secure in the knowledge that love and trust are built over time, not through control or fear. By relinquishing the need for constant reassurance and validation, a Stoic man develops a calm sense of trust that is rooted in emotional security, both in himself and in his partner. In a relationship, trust is built on mutual understanding, respect, and clear communication. A Stoic man approaches trust with the understanding that it must be earned through consistent action, not by avoiding feelings of jealousy or controlling his partner's behavior. He doesn't see jealousy as something to suppress, but as an emotion to be examined, understood, and released. By recognizing its root causes, whether insecurity, fear of loss, or comparison, and reframing it through the lens of Stoic philosophy, he is able to approach relationships with calm assurance. This emotional maturity, grounded in Stoicism, allows him to build trust not only in his partner, but in the relationship itself. With the tools of emotional regulation, rational thinking, and acceptance, the Stoic man transforms jealousy from a destructive force into an opportunity for self-awareness and growth, ultimately strengthening the bond he shares with his partner. By cultivating Stoic principles, men can avoid the corrosive effects of jealousy, replace fear with trust, and build relationships that are based on mutual respect, emotional resilience, and deep, lasting connection. Number 8. Building a stronger connection. Why Stoic men don't chase, they attract. In the realm of relationships, there's a common misconception that to be successful in love, a man must chase after affection, attention, or validation. However, the Stoic philosophy teaches that true attraction isn't about chasing, pursuing, or desperately seeking external approval. Rather, it's about cultivating inner strength, emotional resilience, and a deep sense of self-worth that naturally draws others in. Stoic men, grounded in the understanding that their value isn't dependent on external validation, don't chase after others because they know their worth. Instead, they attract others effortlessly by embodying calm confidence, emotional control, and a sense of purpose. In a world that often values outward displays of affection and pursuit, the Stoic man's quiet strength and independence become magnetic, pulling people towards him without the need for frantic effort. The core of Stoicism lies in the belief that happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external sources or the approval of others. A Stoic man is not defined by his relationships or the attention he receives from others. His sense of self-worth is built on the foundation of virtue, wisdom, and integrity, not on how others perceive him. This self-assurance makes him less likely to chase after fleeting validation or affection, because he doesn't need constant reassurance to feel complete. Instead, he focuses on living in accordance with his values, which creates a sense of inner peace and confidence that others find attractive. This internal sense of completeness means that a Stoic man doesn't chase after love or approval. He attracts it by being authentic, secure, and self-sufficient. Stoic men understand that relationships, like all things in life, must develop naturally and at their own pace. Rather than forcing a connection or rushing to make someone like them, a Stoic man allows the relationship to evolve through mutual respect, understanding, and emotional connection. Chasing after someone often stems from a place of insecurity, fear, or desire for control, all of which can create imbalance in a relationship. When a man is constantly chasing after someone's attention or affection, it can signal desperation, neediness, and a lack of self-worth. In contrast, the Stoic man is comfortable in his own skin. He knows that if a connection is meant to be, it will unfold naturally, without pressure. This confidence in the process of attraction makes him a more grounded and desirable partner, as he offers security and emotional maturity rather than chasing after fleeting moments of validation. Another reason Stoic men don't chase is because they recognize that true attraction is based on mutual respect and understanding. Rather than attempting to win someone over through grand gestures or excessive pursuit, a Stoic man allows his actions to speak for themselves. He invests in his personal growth, strives to be the best version of himself, and aligns his actions with his principles. This type of authenticity is magnetic because it conveys strength, independence, and integrity, qualities that are deeply attractive to others. People are drawn to those who are self-assured, not those who are constantly seeking external validation. A Stoic man knows that genuine attraction comes from being true to oneself and letting others see the value he brings to the table, rather than forcing or chasing after affection. Moreover, Stoicism teaches the importance of emotional control and self-discipline, which prevents a man from becoming overly attached to the outcome of his relationships. In many cases, when men chase after someone, they become emotionally dependent on the outcome of their pursuit. They may become fixated on the need for approval, affection, or commitment, which can lead to anxiety, insecurity, or frustration. A Stoic man, however, practices emotional detachment, not in the sense of being cold or indifferent, but in the sense of not allowing his emotions to control him. He accepts that he cannot control how others feel or behave, only how he responds. This emotional resilience allows him to approach relationships with calmness and equanimity, making him more attractive because he doesn't rely on the outcome of the interaction to define his worth. His attraction comes from a place of emotional stability and self-reliance, which is far more compelling than chasing after someone's affections. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches that a strong connection in a relationship is based on mutual growth and shared values. A Stoic man attracts people not by chasing them, but by aligning himself with those who share similar principles and aspirations. He isn't interested in superficial connections or relationships based on external validation. Instead, he seeks genuine emotional intimacy, where both partners can grow together in virtue and wisdom. When a man is focused on personal development and living a life of integrity, he naturally attracts people who resonate with those values. This deeper connection, grounded in shared purpose and respect, is far more meaningful and lasting than the fleeting attractions built on chasing or superficial interactions. By practicing Stoic principles, men can avoid the pitfalls of neediness, desperation, or possessiveness that often accompany the act of chasing. Instead, they learn to focus on their own growth, emotional control, and self-respect. This internal strength not only boosts their own sense of self-worth, but also naturally attracts others who appreciate these qualities. A Stoic man doesn't chase love or affection. He attracts it by embodying the virtues of patience, self-sufficiency, emotional resilience, and authenticity. This magnetic energy creates a deeper connection with others, built on trust, respect, and mutual growth, rather than on external validation or the need for constant pursuit. Ultimately, the Stoic man understands that true attraction doesn't come from chasing after others, but from being the kind of person who attracts respect, love, and admiration through his own strength and character. Number 9. The Stoic art of listening. How understanding her emotions wins her heart. The Stoic art of listening is one of the most powerful tools a man can use in building deep, meaningful relationships, especially when it comes to understanding and connecting with a woman on an emotional level. While many people tend to focus on what they want to say next during a conversation, a Stoic man listens actively and with full attention. His approach is rooted in the understanding that true emotional connection comes not from speaking, but from deeply listening to what the other person is feeling and expressing. The Stoic man practices the art of listening not just with his ears, but with his heart, allowing him to truly understand the emotions behind the words. This type of listening shows his partner that he values her feelings and that he is fully present in the moment, creating a foundation of trust and intimacy. One of the core principles of Stoicism is the ability to control one's reactions and maintain emotional composure in any situation. This control is not about shutting off one's emotions or becoming indifferent, but about being able to listen without judgment or immediate reaction. When a woman shares her thoughts, feelings, or concerns, a Stoic man does not rush to offer solutions or impose his opinions. Instead, he listens with patience and empathy, allowing her to express herself fully. He understands that her emotions are valid and that often the simple act of being heard can be incredibly healing. By offering her the space to express herself without interruption, he shows her that her emotions matter and that her voice is important to him. This type of listening fosters a deep emotional bond and creates a safe space for open communication, where both partners can share their feelings without fear of judgment or dismissal. The Stoic art of listening also involves self-discipline in managing one's own emotions during a conversation. It's easy to get defensive or react impulsively when hearing something that triggers a personal emotion or challenge, but a Stoic man uses his emotional control to remain calm and composed. When a woman expresses herself, especially if she is feeling hurt, frustrated, or upset, a Stoic man does not take her emotions personally or react with defensiveness. Instead, he practices empathy by putting himself in her shoes, recognizing that her emotions are not a reflection of his value, but an expression of her internal experience. This approach allows him to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively, fostering a sense of emotional safety for her. By managing his own emotional responses, he shows maturity and emotional intelligence, which are deeply attractive qualities in a partner. Another important aspect of the Stoic art of listening is the ability to detach from distractions and be fully present in the moment. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions like smartphones and busy schedules often interrupt conversations, truly being present can be a rare and powerful gift. A Stoic man practices mindfulness in his conversations, focusing his full attention on his partner and her emotions. He avoids the temptation to multitask or let his mind wander, showing her that her feelings are worthy of his undivided attention. This attentiveness not only strengthens the connection, but also makes the woman feel valued and understood. When a man listens with such presence, it speaks volumes about his respect for her and his commitment to understanding her on a deeper level. Furthermore, the Stoic man recognizes that emotions, both his own and his partner's, are part of the human experience. Instead of trying to suppress or avoid difficult emotions, he embraces them as opportunities for growth and understanding. When a woman shares her vulnerabilities or expresses complex emotions, a Stoic man does not shy away from them. Instead, he listens with empathy and an open mind, seeking to understand the deeper layers of her feelings. He understands that relationships are built on the ability to navigate emotions together, not avoid them. This acceptance of emotions, without judgment or dismissal, creates an environment where both partners can be vulnerable and authentic with one another, further strengthening their emotional connection. The Stoic approach to listening also teaches patience and restraint. Relationships are not about rushing to fix problems or offer quick solutions, but about creating space for mutual understanding and emotional growth. When a woman expresses a concern or a difficult emotion, a Stoic man resists the urge to offer advice or solve the issue immediately. Instead, he allows her to express herself fully and only offers advice when it is asked for or when it is truly needed. This patience communicates that he values her perspective and respects her ability to navigate her own emotions. By not rushing to fix things, he demonstrates emotional maturity, and by listening with patience, he shows that he is committed to understanding her needs and feelings in the relationship. Ultimately, the Stoic art of listening creates a powerful emotional bond between partners, built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. A Stoic man wins a woman's heart, not by trying to impress her with his words, but by offering her the gift of undivided attention, emotional composure, and empathy. His ability to listen deeply and without judgment allows him to connect with her on a profound level, building a foundation of trust and intimacy that fosters a lasting relationship. Through this practice, he not only demonstrates his emotional intelligence, but also shows her that she is valued, heard, and understood, qualities that are the cornerstone of any meaningful, long-lasting connection. Number 10. Discipline over desire. How the Stoic man prioritizes his goals without neglecting love. The Stoic philosophy teaches that discipline is one of the greatest virtues a man can cultivate, especially when it comes to balancing his personal goals with his relationships. A Stoic man knows that the pursuit of success, whether in his career, health, or personal development, requires a high degree of self-discipline and focus. However, he also understands that love and relationships are not secondary to these goals. Rather, they are an integral part of a fulfilling life. The Stoic approach to discipline is not about sacrificing relationships for the sake of ambition, nor is it about neglecting personal growth in favor of emotional indulgence. Instead, it is about finding a balance where both his goals and his love life can coexist in harmony. By mastering his desires and aligning his actions with his values, a Stoic man can maintain his focus on his aspirations while nurturing his relationships with care and attention. A Stoic man doesn't let fleeting desires or distractions steer him away from his purpose. He is aware of the powerful forces of temptation and impulse, but he understands that true happiness and fulfillment come from long-term growth and the pursuit of meaningful goals, not short-term gratification. In his relationships, this discipline translates into being present, thoughtful, and emotionally available, even when his focus is on achieving something significant in his personal life. He doesn't allow his ambitions to overshadow the needs of his partner, nor does he neglect his partner in the pursuit of his own success. Instead, he prioritizes his goals by setting clear boundaries and organizing his time effectively, ensuring that both his personal and relational needs are met. He understands that a successful life is not about excelling in one area at the expense of others, but about creating a life that is rich in purpose, growth, and connection. One of the key principles of Stoicism is understanding what is within one's control and what is not. A Stoic man applies this understanding to his goals and relationships by focusing his energy on what he can influence while accepting the things he cannot change. He knows that his goals require sacrifice, effort, and time, but he also realizes that his relationship is an ongoing commitment that requires care, attention, and mutual effort. Discipline, in this sense, is about balancing these competing priorities. He doesn't let the demands of his ambitions create distance or tension in his relationship. Instead, he takes a measured approach where he works diligently on his goals while making time for his partner, ensuring that his love life isn't neglected in the process. By exercising discipline, he doesn't fall into the trap of seeing his goals and love as opposing forces, but instead recognizes that both are essential to his overall well-being. Furthermore, a Stoic man knows that emotional discipline is just as important as the discipline required to achieve his goals. He does not allow his desires, whether they are for success, status, or material gain, to overshadow his emotional needs or those of his partner. He recognizes that a fulfilling relationship is built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect, not on unchecked desires or selfishness. When pursuing his goals, he remains aware of how his actions affect his loved ones and works to avoid neglecting them. For example, if his career demands more time, he communicates openly with his partner about the situation and ensures that their emotional connection remains strong. In this way, he avoids sacrificing the intimacy and emotional closeness that love requires for the sake of ambition. Discipline, in this context, is about being emotionally present, managing his desires, and ensuring that his partner feels valued and appreciated, even when life is demanding. A Stoic man also understands that his goals should align with his values and principles, which in turn influence how he approaches love and relationships. He doesn't view his relationship as something to be put on hold or sacrificed for his goals. Instead, he sees it as a vital part of his journey toward personal growth and fulfillment. He strives to be a better partner by cultivating virtues such as patience, kindness, and emotional intelligence, qualities that not only contribute to the success of his relationship, but also complement his own personal growth. By aligning his personal and relational goals, he ensures that his ambitions are not in conflict with his love life, but are supportive of it. A Stoic man's love life becomes a source of emotional nourishment and stability, helping him stay grounded and focused as he pursues his larger goals. Importantly, discipline for a Stoic man is not about rigidly adhering to a set schedule or a strict set of rules, but about making conscious decisions based on his priorities and values. He knows that his time and energy are finite, and that balance is essential to maintaining harmony between work, personal growth, and love. He doesn't fall into the trap of overworking himself or sacrificing the emotional needs of his relationship in the name of achievement. Instead, he takes deliberate, mindful steps to ensure that each area of his life receives the attention it deserves. Whether it's making time for a meaningful conversation with his partner, taking a break to enjoy a shared experience, or setting aside time for self-care, A Stoic man understands that discipline means making choices that support his overall well-being, not just his professional success. Ultimately, the Stoic man's approach to discipline is rooted in the idea that true success is not just about individual achievements, but about building a life that is balanced, harmonious, and fulfilling in all areas. He doesn't see his goals and love life as competing forces, but as complementary elements of a meaningful existence. By mastering his desires, managing his time and energy effectively, and prioritizing both his personal aspirations and his relationship, the Stoic man is able to live a life that is rich in purpose, connection, and emotional fulfillment. His discipline isn't about sacrificing love for success, but about creating a life where both can thrive together, supporting each other on the path to a deeper and more fulfilling connection. In conclusion, the Stoic philosophy offers a powerful blueprint for achieving a life of balance, purpose, and fulfillment. By mastering the discipline over desire, a Stoic man is able to prioritize his goals without sacrificing the love and relationships that add depth and meaning to his life. The key lies in recognizing that true success isn't just about personal achievement. It's about living in alignment with one's values and understanding that a meaningful relationship is a cornerstone of a well-rounded, successful life. Through emotional control, mindfulness, and a clear focus on what truly matters, Stoicism teaches men how to balance ambition with affection, career with connection, and personal growth with emotional intimacy. Rather than allowing external pressures or fleeting desires to dictate their actions, Stoic men approach both their goals and relationships with a calm, thoughtful, and intentional mindset. They recognize that love, just like success, requires effort, attention, and nurturing. Efforts that don't need to conflict with the pursuit of their dreams. Instead, these efforts complement each other, creating a life that is not only professionally successful, but emotionally rich and rewarding. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, men can develop the strength to pursue their ambitions while remaining fully present in their relationships. In doing so, they don't just build a life of external accomplishments. They build a life of meaning, depth, and genuine connection. Ultimately, the Stoic man understands that true happiness and fulfillment come from living a balanced life, where both ambition and love can thrive together, creating lasting happiness and lasting relationships.